Okay, next I'm going to talk about some more general Delphi features. These were added in XE7 and they allow you to make use of threading to improve your applications, mainly TTask, which allows you to perform a task in a background thread without locking your main application UI, and Parallel 4, which allows you to speed up processing by using multiple cores. This is a variation of a presentation I saw done by Danny Wind, but I've modified it to show image processing. Thanks, Danny. Okay, so I've already added some controls to this application. I have a scroll bar up here that just moves back and forth to show you that the UI is active or whether it's locked, and a whole bunch of TImg views that are going to show our images as they are processed, a few buttons and a file. Okay, now I haven't added my core code here, but I'll put some basic code in. I created an array of image end views, fill a basic file name, and pop up the standard imaging dialog to fill the file name. And here's our timer that makes our scroll bar go back and forth. Right. Okay, so let's get started here. First, let's handle the processing for just doing normal non-threaded processing. I'm just going to paste in some code here that I prepared earlier. Here's our normal test. Okay, so we pass an image in view. Now here we create a TIE bitmap. Now this is ImageN's variation of a T bitmap, but it has much more advanced features. You can read pretty much any image format. It allows you to do caching to file, so you can handle really big file images, and other features like image editing and what have you, printing. Right, so here we create our BMP, and then we read the file name, past file name, and then 5 times we do a rotate. Now point rotates are obviously a lot more CPU intensive than a 90-degree rotate, so it's going to be a little bit slow. And then finally we resize it to the size of the control it's going to go into, and we put a smoothing filter, fast linear. And true here just ensures that we keep the original aspect ratio. It doesn't look all stretched. We assign the image to our image in view, output some text, and we free it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, first I'm going to blank all our image in views in case we've done something already. Fingers. Great. And then we're going to perform our tests. Normal test. Pass an image in view, our file name, Great. Right, let's try that out. Okay, these are fairly large images, so it might take a little while. And you can see that as it's processing, our scroll bar has stopped because it's got locked up. It's locked up with the processing. There we go. Right. Now we're just going to modify this so it can be done in a thread. Now, this is much easier than you would imagine. Okay, so let's create an event handler for that. Let's blank our images again. And this time we're going to create a task test. Same parameters. Okay, and all we need to do is call the class method TTask.Run and put our anonymous method in here. Procedure. Begin. Normal test. Pass our IE view and our file name. Great. And so here we need to run that for each of our images as well, and it's not a normal test, it's a task test. And there we mostly have it. So instead of running our normal test directly, we create a TTask. We don't create a test, we run an anonymous procedure of the normal test. There's only one little thing we need to change, and that is we need to be careful that our application doesn't directly call the main UI thread without synchronizing. So I've got to add another parameter here, threaded. Are we threaded? And if we're threaded, then we need to synchronize. Okay, so all we need to do here is thread synchronize, and again we pass an anonymous method procedure. Begin. And we can put the same code into it as this. Change our text. Okay, that looks correct. Let's copy our new parameter. and ensure that we're passing that parameter. That one's threaded. And that one is not. Great, I think that's all we need. So let's run that, and what have I done here? p.thread. Oh, I forgot a begin. That would help. And when you are testing your thread applications, it's always important to not run under the debugger, because it will affect the outcome, affect the processing. Okay, so let's try that again. So we do a standard normal load. UI has locked, as you can see by the scroll bar, and it's basically nothing's happening until it's finished. And now let's do a test with using threads. As you can see, the scroll bar is still going, and boom, we're done without it upsetting the UI. Now, the thing you may have noticed here is that it actually processed a lot faster using TTask. TTask is not necessarily designed to make your processing faster. That's what parallel is for, T-parallel. But in effect, it actually does. So I actually have another version of the demo here, where I have put a system stopwatch in. So let's do a standard load, see how long it takes. We're all locked up for just over 10 seconds. Now this has got 4 cores, so let's see what we get when we do a TTask.Run. There you go. 2.8 seconds. So yeah, it was almost 1/4 of the time, and the UI was not locked in any way. Okay, there we have it.